The following is paid programming.
It's time to talk taxes.
New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
It's Ask the Tax Lady with Esther Gulius and EG Tax on News Radio 930 WBEN. To reach Esther now, call 803-0930. Toll free at 1-800-616-9236. And cell calls are free at star 930. And now, live from the WBEN studios, it's Esther Gulius.
Hey, everybody, this is the Tax Lady, and this is the time we talk about taxes and things that you need to know, because let's face it, with these challenging times, you know, they keep changing the tax law, and we want to make sure that you're well aware of what's just come down the pike. And as a matter of fact, a big tax change just happened a couple days ago, I think yesterday specifically. But I got in studio Chris Fabian. Hey, Chris.
Hello, Esther.
Hello, Christopher. And Tiffany Fabian.
Hey there, Esther. Happy Saturday.
I'm so glad you're not on that one mic.
No, because it's cruddy.
Let's talk about the change in the PPP. So when we did our seminar on Wednesday, the old law was in effect, and then on Friday they changed it. So that's really good news for a lot of people, a lot of businesses.
Definitely. I mean, one of the big ones is it extends the time of usage. Before it was just 8 weeks from the time of receiving the PPP, which a lot of businesses weren't even opened. So they're like, how can we spend the money if we're not opened on payroll?
PPP stands for Payroll Protection Program. So it was tough to have payroll when you were closed. So I think a lot of people heard, let their senators know and Congress people know that how can we spend 75% on payroll when we're closed? Because not all businesses were essential. A lot of businesses were closed, especially restaurants and things of that nature. So they've extended it. So now you have how many weeks before you for you to comply to get it turned into a grant?
24 weeks.
Right, and it's not 75% anymore.
It's now 60%, right? Correct.
So really, when you think about it, it isn't so much payroll protection as it kind of is like a handout for small businesses, right? I mean, it's
right.
Definitely the federal government giving everybody a handout. Then the balance of the 40% can be spent on operating expenses.
Yep.
Because they were saying many of these people are paying long dollars. I mean, you know, we have 34 offices, so we're paying lots of rent every month, and many businesses are paying $7,000-8,000 a month rent. And when you have no money coming in, it hurts. Yeah. So the second part of the PPP, the 40% on operating, will really help to pay for utilities, rent, and mortgage interest.
Right.
So that's
and
a brand new change.
Insurance.
And they also pushed back the rehire of workers, the count of the rehire of workers, to December 31st, 2020. So you don't have to rush to bring everybody back if you're not having the business come in, if people are still being afraid and only 25% or 50% of people are coming in back into your restaurant or your shop. They're giving you time to rehire your staff instead of rushing to. Right. So that helps a lot as well.
And especially with the $600 that they're giving for unemployment, which expires July the 31st. A lot of people say, I'm not going to come back to work. I'm making more money on unemployment. And I know technically the employer should turn them in, right?
Yep.
But a lot of employers walk a tightrope because they say, well, gee, I really like Shelley. She's been with me for 15 years. I certainly understand what she's going through. On the other hand, you know, and I don't want to lose her. On the other hand, and I need her. So, you know, that's where you really got to have that conversation with Shelley to say, I don't want to turn you in, but I need you.
Right. Yep.
All right, so July 15th is coming up. 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 3930. And what happens on July the 15th? I believe that's your birthday, isn't it?
It's August, but August 15th. But
right.
Anyways, on July 15th, the 2019 filing deadline closes, and so you will have to have your return filed.
So it's just a little over. It's a month and a week away.
Right. Yep.
So we want to talk about your 2019 tax return. Now, for those of you that have filed already, there are things that you can do. There's things that are still open up, and you can actually do things to reduce your liability, even if you filed, and they'll give you additional money back. So if you hear anything, go ahead and amend that return.
And-
the important thing is to review your information. Yes, sir.
Right. I wanted to say too, the stimulus quote unquote checks now are debit cards.
Oh, yeah, my
And-
gosh. Don't throw them away.
And believe it or not, I had a client this morning who said, I never got my stimulus. I looked it up and it was already issued 2 weeks ago. And I go, well, it should have been a debit card now. Oh, well, we didn't get any junk mail. And one of my clients sent me a letter they sent back to the government because they sent it back saying, I don't want it. But I showed him the letter and I said, did you get something that looked like this? He said, yeah. And I cut the card in 9,000 pieces because I thought it was a credit card offer. So I gave him, there is an 800 number. If you fall in this category where you think you cut up your card, threw away the card, 1-800-240-8100 is the number.
All right, so let's reiterate. So what happened was initially the federal government for stimulus was sending direct deposits.
Right.
Then they were sending checks.
Yep.
Somebody, I don't know who, what genius, decided that it would be better to give everybody a debit card. So in a plain white envelope, they're sending these debit cards to you. Now, many people, and myself, I have to say I'm a culprit. I only open up first class mail.
Right.
If it's not, now maybe they didn't even look to see if it's first class because it looks like junk mail. But the truth is the debit card's in there. So, and then you don't even know if somebody didn't steal the debit card, right? I mean, because there it was in your
Oh, it
post
looks
office,
so
in your post office.
unassuming. Yeah.
But I mean, people can see that. You can feel that there's a credit card in there. So, so if you get the letter from the IRS that says we sent you stimulus money and you haven't gotten it, chances are it came in a debit card and maybe you inadvertently, without knowing, threw it away. So Chris is going to give you the number one more time to call to let them know. But you can also go online to find out if they issued it, right, Chris?
Yep. You go to the www.irs.gov.
Click on
and
stimulus.
click on stimulus, and you can follow the steps there. If you think you got your card, you threw it away, the phone number to call is 1-800-240-8100. That's 1-800-240-8100.
But you're right, Esther. There's been times that I've mailed out gift cards to people in the mail, and people feel what they are, and they get stolen. So I don't know if this was such a hot idea.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, and again, if you need help with that, you can call us during the week. We'll look it up on irs.gov for you to let you know if it was issued. But it's interesting. Last night I was having dinner with my friends, and she said to me, she's from South Carolina. She says, Esther, I got this letter from the IRS that says I'm getting stimulus money. I don't need no stimulus money. And I said, Wanda, did you get a debit card? And she said, no, I didn't. And so I'm going to look it up for her this afternoon and make sure, because I think she threw it away, so I said, they want you to stimulate the economy with the stimulus money. So, and then, she was telling me how she didn't need it. And I said, well, then send it back. And her husband just looked at her as if to say, see, Brighty, now you're going to have to send it back. But anyway, again, if you need help, you can call us at EG Tax during the week. Visit us online at egtax.com. And our phone number here in studio is 8030930. 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 3930. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back on the other side with your calls.
We are family. I got all my sisters.
Hey, to us, your family. And as family members, you're entitled to free questions. So give us a call, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Text us at 3930. We're going to talk about getting ready for 6 weeks from now, or 5.5 weeks from now, when those 2019 tax returns are due. But in the meantime, we have some wonderful people that have called, and we're going to go talk to Jim. Hey, Jim, how are you, sir?
Good. Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I had my taxes done at one of your sub-offices,
Okay.
and he did I'm going to call it the short form. You take the number that Trump gives you, rather
The
than
standard deduction.
right.
Okay.
Well, I'm a retired federal employee, and I talked to about 5 guys that were all the same grade as I am, and we all are retired, and they all did the long form. And I don't know if you're aware of it, but as a federal employee or a fireman, you can take all of your health care payments as a deduction.
Okay, well, you guys want to
Yeah, if it-
address that?
3,000. If you pay a portion out of your pension, and that is true, but the limit is 3,000, you can take it and reduce the taxable amount of your pension payment, but it's only 3,000. Any remainder that's over 7.5 would flow over to your Schedule A. And so, Jim, I was also wondering if you're married or single.
Married.
Married. Okay, so married people really struggle with itemizing under the tax
Well, let me ask you
reform.
this. How much are your property taxes?
$12,000.
Okay, so you're at 10 already. And do you have a mortgage?
No.
So,
I-
your standard deduction, is
uh,
about let's say $26,000. So you have $10,000 in taxes. Did you give like $20,000 to charity?
Not 20,000. No.
How much did you give to charity?
Off the top of my head,
Just give me a close number. Pardon me?
a couple of thousand. I
Okay,
couldn't-
so we have about 12 that you'd have in itemized deductions. They're giving you 26. That's what most people call a long form. So you wouldn't be able to itemize. On the federal, though, the federal, like Tiffany was saying, there's an adjustment for health insurance if you paid for it out of your pension. And on the state of New York, of course, all of your pension is completely tax-free. But to make you feel secure and to make me feel secure, if you would call us on Monday so we can pull up your return, it'll take us 2 minutes and we can go over everything with you. You know, one of the things I've learned about people is they think they've done something and they haven't done it. So, but we want to make you feel secure. So call us on Monday at 632-7886 and give us the opportunity to go over this to make you and me feel secure.
Yeah, ask for Chris, Tiff, or Esther, okay?
Okay?
Okay.
All right, that's great. Thanks, Jim. Good question, though. Because you know how people are over the fence post, they say, oh, yeah, okay. well,
Yeah, and if he missed that health insurance, I can amend his last 3 years' return. So
Right,
very important.
right. Okay, and again, let's go to line 2. We're going to talk to DJ.
Yep.
Hey, DJ, how can we help you?
Yeah, I had called about ago. I mailed my federal check February 26th, and I asked you if I would have to wait till after July. My not rooted, and you said it shouldn't be any. And,
He's breaking up. Did you guys catch that?
Oh, can you repeat that, DJ? We didn't.
oh, okay. I had mailed my federal check out, which would come back to me in the mail. I usually get it in 4 to 6 weeks, and I called you back then because I thought maybe I'd have to wait till July before they start sending out the checks.
All right, now let's.
Later, and
You sent out the check to who? You owed the IRS money?
Oh, they owe me.
So you said you sent out a check.
No, I didn't send out and shut my tax.
All right, you sent out your tax return in February, right?
Yeah, in February.
Okay.
Now
And
it's-
have you gotten your stimulus money? Is that what you're asking about?
Oh no, the federal tax return.
Right. Well, the IRS on March 15th shut down. So there was nobody to process paper returns. And you're not the only one in this boat, DJ. There's a lot of people out there that are still waiting. So you can be patient and keep waiting. So they're slowly coming back to work right now. If you have all your information, you can come in and we can electronically file your return.
That's what I'd suggest you do, DJ, is just
Okay.
ignore the fact that you send it in as a paper return and just come on in and we'll just bang it off in 15 minutes and it'll be into
And
the
I
IRS.
wanna-
We'll know it's correct and you'll get your money in a week.
Want to echo what Chris and Esther said. I called the IRS 2 days ago with a client who had done a paper return, and the IRS examiner, the tax advocate, said, Yes, that department was furloughed. And she said, we haven't even started looking at any paper returns. But she was kind enough to try to bring up their social. And she goes, yeah, just like I suspected, it's not here. She goes, we were furloughed. And so Esther, and I got it right from the horse's mouth.
So see, here's the thing. Just because you sent in a paper return doesn't mean you can't file electronically. So, because what they'll do is once they see that paper return, if the electronic return has been filed, they'll ignore it because they've already gotten your return. So, if you're looking for your money and you got a refund coming, just come on in. We'll do the return electronically for you.
Okay, that'll solve it. I need to do
Yeah.
that because, I was having to send.
Sure. I mean, who doesn't need their money? Everybody needs their money. Okay, DJ? All right. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. And you can text us at 3930. And let's see, we have Grace. Hey, Grace, how are you, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you for taking the call.
Yeah.
I'm calling to find out if you have any information if a second stimulus check is coming to the people.
Not right now. And I will tell you, I think the entire thing that's happened the last week with the death of the guy from Minnesota who was murdered.
George.
And George, yeah, has just upended anything in Congress and the news and everything. Obviously, if you're watching the news, you see it. They've been on the drawing board. They did adjust the PPP plan like we talked about, and they just passed that through. I think right now, especially with the good news that happened yesterday, with the large improvement, $2 million, the jobs were added last month, and with the rebounding of the stock market, I'm wondering if they are going to be really in a mood for sending any more money. They were talking about it, but right now I think that the mood is changing. So, but keep listening to EG Tax because we asked the tax lady. We will let you know if it changes. But right now, I think they are putting it on the back burner.
All righty. Thank you
Okay?
very much.
All right, thanks for calling. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 3930. And again, we wanted to talk about getting ready for the next 6 weeks. Now is the time to review your stuff, and you got to get your head in the game. It's kind of a problem when you're finally getting out of lockdown and you think, my gosh, I can go eat at a restaurant. I can get my hair cut. That you would think, and now I got to get my tax stuff done. But really, you don't want to wait till the last minute because the last minute this year is July the 15th. And if you find out you owe money, it's going to be a big problem because it gives you opportunity to reduce your tax liability if you start looking at everything right now. Right?
Yep.
Correct.
And the other thing is, if you're self-employed, you can still put money into a simplified employee pension, an SEP, or if you're somebody that doesn't have a pension plan at work, or you're under the income limits and you are covered, you can still put money into an IRA. That is also extended till July the 15th. So those
Yep.
are things that you can do
Yeah.
to save.
And I
money.
just amended somebody's return today who had already filed and they did married joint, but I looked at it again and married separate would have saved them $600. So I amended the return because I have to the filing deadline to do that.
Right. That's
So,
exactly right.
just
All right, let's
things
go
in
back
your
to the phones,
toolbox.
And we're going to talk to Greg. Hey, Greg.
How you doing? The situation is my father passed away in January of 2020, and they both got a stimulus check, and she thinks she has to send it back, and I don't think she does.
She does. She has to send back
back his
Dad's. Yep. And I have the address where to send it back to if you need it.
Yeah, it was at the date of receipt that he had to be alive, Greg. So at the date of her receiving it, he had to be here with us. And so
And
regrettably,
was he alive at that point in time, Greg?
Well, he died January 11th, 2020.
Yeah, so no.
Right. So he wasn't alive. So you do have to, your mom's correct. You have to send back, she has to send back that money.
Okay.
her portion, his portion.
All right? Yeah, just the $1,200. And you can go to our website at egtax.com, and we have the address there for her to send it out, and make sure that she puts under the memo section that this is a refund of a stimulus for a decedent.
So she's going to send back $1,200.
Right. Okay?
Okay, is there another stimulus check coming out too?
Right now, I think that they're not in a mood for it. They were a couple weeks ago, but I think with the good news for the unemployment and the rebounding in the stock market, I think that they don't obviously want to send the money out if they don't have to. So I think the jury's out on that, but we will keep you posted.
Okay, great. Thanks for your
All
time.
right, thanks a lot. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, I know we have calls, but I wanted to talk about married filing separate. Married filing separate really is a status that you can do for a number of reasons. Some people will save money, like Tiffany was saying, and some people just don't want to file jointly because of liability. Because when you file jointly with your spouse, you assume the same liability. So if you have a spouse that you think is cheating, working under the table, and you don't want that liability, then you want to make sure that you look at married filing separately. But there are people that are filing jointly, and they think they should file separately because their spouse owes student loan interest or child support, and there's a way to get around that, right?
Correct. It's called the injured spouse.
And so what's the benefit?
Well, why don't we tell them after the news?
Oh, that's a good idea. We'll take a short break for the news, and we'll be back with all your calls on the other side.
We are family. I got all my sisters.
Hey, this is Esther Gullius, the tax lady, and we think of you as family. I hope you think of us as family because we're really in your corner. I know we got callers, but I just wanted to let people know that if you are married, because really the tax deadline is 6 weeks away, so a lot of people are getting ready to file their tax returns. If you have a spouse with student loan debt or has outstanding child support and you think I'm going to file separately, even though it's going to penalize me to file separately, there's a way around it, and that's called the injured spouse. And why is that important?
Because what that does, it doesn't separate the return. It separates the refund to what's his, what's hers, and whoever is the party that owes the money, they'll keep that part of the refund and send it to the appropriate agency, and the other person will get their refund, but it gives them the benefit of filing joint compared to
Like,
separate.
For instance, when you file married filing separate, you don't get the earned income credit, you don't get the educational,
College,
the interest that you paid on student loans, you don't get the education credits, you don't get child care credits, and so the beautiful part about filing joint with an injured spouse in the event that that's your situation is then the non-obligated spouse has the opportunity to get all those refunds and the benefit of filing a joint return, and the person on the other side with the outstanding liability, only a little bit of the refund is taken. So if you've been filing married separately and because your spouse has student loan debt or child support that's outstanding, give us a call because we will amend those returns and get you the money back on the federal.
Yeah, and this person that I did married separate for, they're like, does this lock me in and mean that I have to do that every year? And it doesn't. You can switch back and forth as you want.
Okay, what was the reason that they would have been able to file separately?
Their income, nope. Their income was very equal and even. They both earned about the same amount, and it helped the state. So the answer was
I
better
see,
for the state. No, they didn't
Okay, great.
itemize.
Okay, let's go back to the phones and we're going to talk to Jerry. Hey, Jerry.
Uh,
I'm Esther Gullius. How can I help you?
I have. Well, Esther, I wanted to ask something about the small business regular loan, not the PPP.
Okay, the one from the SBA?
Yes, direct.
Okay.
My son had applied for one and got an indication email response that it had been approved.
Good.
But nothing happened, and he's been trying to call the 800.
He has to fill out the paperwork. When you say you've been approved, there's also a link on there to fill out saying that you're accepting it.
Okay.
You want to explain that,
from the
Chris?
bank. or
Right,
whatever
right,
bank.
right. Through the email, it will get him back to the SBA website. He'll have to do the username and password, and he'll have to review some information, put in his bank information again.
They'll send him the money in a day or so.
Yep.
But the ball is now in his court. He's got to go back to that website, fill out the information. Yes, I want it. Here's where you put the money, and they're going to directly deposit it.
Okay, thank you. He
You're
was
very welcome.
the 800 number to ask him, but it's so busy.
No. He goes back to that website that he got the notice from. I'm assuming he got notified electronically,
Yes.
right?
And if he has questions, call our
Yeah,
office.
just have him call us. We'll be very happy to help him. We'll walk him
No
through.
charge.
Thank you very much for your
All right.
full services.
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
And then don't forget, after he gets the PPP money,
It's EIDL.
oh,
this
he
is
got
his
the EIDL.
EIDL.
Yay! That's
so
awesome.
the interest rate he's going to pay is 3.75% for 30 years, and I will tell you the Small Business Administration has been so kind to small businesses, and I want to tell you right now we're kind of being artificially propped up because there's been so much government money out there. But as your business unfolds, rather than getting into a pickle and not be able to pay your payroll taxes or your rent, take a look at the SBA because you can always pay it back.
Yep, and then
no penalty.
New York State also has loans that they're doing, and a lot of landlords didn't qualify. They didn't qualify for the PPP, and so this New York State loans that are giving out, they also are good
forward
for
loan.
landlords. So
It's
that's
called the forward loan tip?
yep, it's called the forward loan.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone, text us at 3930, and we have Christine waiting. Hey, Christine, how are you, my dear?
I am fine, thank you, and I'm glad you're taking my call.
Thank you.
I do enjoy your program because I learned so much for
Oh,
old
well,
age.
thank you. That's what we want to do. We want to teach people.
Okay. Well, anyway, my question is I'm trying to help a friend locate her stimulus. So here's the thing. She worked in the U.S., she and her husband. She lived in the U.S. Now she lives in Canada. However, she is a Canadian citizen, but she has been getting Social Security for the past 20 years. Is she eligible for stimulus?
It's all going to depend how the Social Security has her Social Security number in the system. If she was never a U.S. resident, then no. If she just got a TIN number to give her permission to work here, and that's what qualified her for her Social Security, that doesn't qualify her for the stimulus.
So what you might want to do is have her, we can do a three-way call. You can have her contact us on Monday, and then we'll look at the website and find out what the status is.
Okay. If
Okay.
she texts you on Monday, what does she call the number I just called?
Nope.
No.
You would call 632-7886, and that's a 716 number. It's right on our website too.
632-7886.
Right.
Even though she's in Fort Erie, Canada, she can call
Well,
you.
she has to dial 716. And actually, we have an 888 number, don't we?
1-800-TAX-99998.
Yeah. 1-800-TAX 829-9998.
9998. Because I did tell her she could call Social Security office, and she tried it, but because she lives in Canada.
No, she wouldn't call Social Security. It's IRS.gov. She'd call the IRS.
Oh,
But
okay.
she'll never. You cannot call. We're moving from a society where people actually talk to you to a society where everything is written online. And especially with the furloughs because of the coronavirus, so many people from the IRS were laid off, and they're really just projecting to have everybody back and working around July the 15th. So right now, there's very few people working there to help you. So I would suggest you give us a call. We'll go on the website for you.
Well, Social Security, because here was the second question. We usually, when husband and wife, usually when the husband passes, the wife winds up getting her husband's Social Security. Now, I know that's not exactly true because you get a certain percentage of his added to yours.
No, you get his.
Part of it is it's usually the amount my husband would have got if he were alive.
Well, it is you don't get yours anymore. You now get your spouse's.
Okay, well, here's the question. I tried to do on a website, I was going to look up her stimulus, And I put her name in, and then I said, "What is your Social Security number?" And she says, "Oh, no, you have to put my husband's in because it's his."
No.
Right.
It's hers. It's her number.
I-
Everything goes by your, not
Correct.
not your
She
spouse.
insisted she has to put her husband's in, and I thought, okay.
No,
I think we all have
so-
friends like that.
So,
Yep.
you know, just give us a call Monday. We'll help you. Okay, dear?
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm Esther Gilius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Text us at 3930. No text today.
No
Nope,
text.
nope.
Isn't that
Text.
something? Okay, let's go to Michael. Hey, Mike. How are you, sir?
Yeah, hi, Esther. I got a check, a return, tax return from the IRS for about $3,500, and I'm not clear on the date on this. I think it was in 2013. The check fell. We didn't realize that it fell between some covers, and when we had the kitchen redone, the builders. I have no idea.
I know where this is going, you
Usually
know?
good for a year, right?
Yep. What I this is going to be one of Tiff's favorite lines. Call us on Monday.
Do
We
a
can do a
conference call.
conference call with the tax practitioner.
And they'll issue you a new check.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks.
So
All
call
right,
me and we'll
hey,
do a conference
thanks a
call
lot.
to the
Yeah,
practitioners.
Call 632-7886. Now, I will tell you, Monday is a busy
Right,
day.
Esther.
So
Yep.
if you get, if it looks like we're busy, we are.
And the
So
IRS is also busy on Monday.
Fending it off till Tuesday might not hurt,
Yep.
but we certainly will help anybody that has a problem.
And look, the IRS just paid for his part of his kitchen remodel.
Yeah.
Money well found.
Well, I'm going to tell you, how many times are you doing tax returns and you're opening up because many times people just bring in their mail that they get.
Yep.
Yep.
And they don't open, that says important tax
Or a
information.
stock
How
dividend.
many times do you find checks? I find checks all the time.
Yeah.
When I open up taxpayers' stuff.
I say there's a finder's fee.
Here's the dividend check you haven't got.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the phones. We'll talk to Jen. Hey, Jen.
Jen?
Hello, Jen.
I just had a question. My son is 17, and I claim him as a dependent, and he's a full-time student in high school. I was just wondering if he is able to collect unemployment.
If he's worked over $2,500
Right.
for at least 2 quarters, each quarter, he would then qualify for unemployment.
Right. So is he working?
Over 2,500?
$2,500 per quarter for at least 2 quarters.
Right. So that would be $5,000 for 2 quarters collectively.
Okay, because his friends are getting unemployment and are in the same boat as him.
Okay, well, it all comes down to the dollars. Did he make more than $2,500 January, February, March, and $2,500 April, May, June?
2,500? No.
Okay, then he wouldn't qualify. See, everything, just because your friend did doesn't mean that they fulfilled those requirements. So it would depend on how much they made. So everybody's different.
I realize everyone's different, but when I applied and gave all of my information, they said he was eligible.
Okay, well then the best thing to do is give us a call on Monday, and we'll go over everything with you. Okay.
Okay, all right.
All right. Thank you, dear.
And we did just get a text at the, I guess the text number changed. It's now 8030930. So if you're trying to text us, it's 8030930.
Somebody felt bad for you. No wonder we're not getting texts.
I'm feeling rejected here. See. Okay. Now who's the next? We have John. Hey, John. How can we help you, sir? Hello, John.
It's just kind of a quick question. I like to verify that all of the receipts that I have are in. So I was wondering if it'd be possible to contact the IRS and get a wage and earnings statement. Is that possible for 2019 or not?
You usually
get those, can't we?
transcripts. Yeah, you fill out a form 4506T. However, right now they are not processing a transcript request because of the furloughed employees. So they can give you a transcript, but they can't do it right now. We can at EG Tax do an e-account and as an electronic originator and fill out an account and get your transcripts for you. So if you can't wait a few months, we can help you out.
But we need you in the office
Yeah.
to.
Right.
Okay, John?
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right,
Good
enough.
question.
Okay, I'm Esther Gilius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone, and the new text, which I went completely wrong, is 716-803-0930, and we are going to take a short break. We'll be back with your calls on the other side.
We are family. I got all my sisters with
Hey,
me.
EG Tax is your family. We think, I mean, to us, you know, it doesn't make any difference how you're doing your taxes. We're an information station. We want to help you. I just think it's very important from a business and ethical standpoint that people understand that not everything can you charge for. And so we do a lot of things at no charge because we think it's important that you have a positive attitude. We have a positive attitude, and that you would have a positive feeling about us. And so that's why we do a lot of things at no charge. And I know I got all kinds of phone calls waiting. Wanted to, since we only have like 5 weeks until filing deadline again, if you can't get your W-2 forms, and let's say you had an employer that didn't issue W-2 forms, you can do a substitute wage and tax statement, right, you guys?
Yep. You can take your
Explain what that
last.
is.
You can take your last pay stub and essentially create a W-2 and figure out what your wages were for the end of the year, your withholdings, your Medicare, your Social Security, and your New York State withholdings. And we can do that electronically as long as we have the tax ID number of the business.
Right. Well, even if you don't, we won't be electronic, but you can still
Yeah.
we can still create the W-2 form.
Yep.
But some employers at the end of the year when they were supposed to be issuing W-2s, they might have gone bankrupt, they might have closed their doors, they might have been unscrupulous, but the IRS is still going to cover your withholding, and so it's up to you to create that W-2 form, and that's called a substitute wage and tax statement. Okay, let's go back to the phones. We got Julie. Hi, Julie.
Hi. I thank you for discussing the debit card situation. After hearing you say that, I had been waiting, for, as many had, for weeks and weeks to get response with regard to unemployment. I did receive one of those cards in the mail, and I received it on May 26th. And the instructions in it, important, please read, can't use the enclosed card to transfer money into or out of your account until we have validated it. If you don't want to use the card, please destroy it at once by cutting it in half. Well, I did that, but I also was smart enough to keep the pieces and tape them onto all this information in my file.
That was smart.
Well, you learn. The older you get, the
wiser.
Now, there's
one would hope anyway. Hey,
call key to find out how to, and it's the phone number. It says to activate the account. It's 866-295-2955, and then there are some other instructions to activate. Well, I want to activate the card. Now, one of the reasons I called was that, interestingly enough, May 26th, the date I received this card, it would have been mailed before I even knew if I was or wasn't approved for unemployment. So when I got this in the mail, I went online and signed up for direct deposit, which is what I want. So I cut it up as per instructions. Okay, so I have this in the file. Well, a week later, you have to certify. I just found out there's only 1 week of unemployment in there as of today. So I went back to work on Monday. I worked for a practice, it was all COVID related. So, and I would like to add that in the unemployment websites and things and the information that you tried to wade through, there was no mention of any, if you want this or that. We had no idea how this was all going to work.
Okay, so you realize stimulus has nothing to do with unemployment.
E-Bank, but I had to push buttons and hold zero in an odd way to get to a real person because I didn't want to inadvertently set up this card. I found out there were several $100s on this card without my permission, without my knowledge, without anything prior to this. I didn't okay any kind of thing like this, but the woman said that I would have to take this card in to a key bank to get the money off of it. to, and then there's no mention of what the time frame for unemployment is. But it would have had to have been mailed before I got any notice that I actually was approved of anything.
Okay, Julie.
Yeah.
You realize the stimulus has nothing to do with unemployment.
No, this isn't. This is unemployment.
Right.
Sure.
Okay, so this is unemployment we're talking
Yep.
about, not stimulus.
Unemployment has done debit cards as well.
Too, as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is why I'm calling, because convenient access to your unemployment insurance benefits. Well, this, any other card you've ever gotten, there's nothing on it until you activate.
Yep.
It has money on it as we speak, cut up before I knew it was coming in this way when I signed up for direct deposit.
So again, is that something we can help Julie with, you guys?
I know that's nothing. I just wanted your list.
Yeah, but you would, and you contacted.
So did
New
you
York State?
rectify that, Julie?
I'm going to take care of it, but I wanted to call KeyBank.
Well, that's great.
Out about the card.
And that's important information for everybody to know. Yeah.
Right, because you just never know. And so that's really great. If you need any help, give us a jingle. And will you let us know how that all, who it was or how they got the
email.
$200 on your card?
Pardon?
Will you let us know what it was that somebody was able to put on your card?
It was $713.13.
So 1 week the federal and the New York.
That's New York State unemployment. We're wondering where all the other weeks are. Don't even know what time frame this covers. And luckily, I finally got through, and it's not easy to do.
Yep. I know somebody who got unemployment and it took them like 2 weeks to get the back pay, but they got a check for $6,000.
Yeah.
Well, keep us abreast of what you find out, will you, Julie?
But if people are throwing the cards out,
I know you got to be careful when you throw out the card. So make sure people are double checking and what a lesson.
But that's really good information. Let us know
Yep.
that somebody had used there was a debit on your card. So keep us abreast, will you please?
Yep, I think we lost her. So
All right. Anyway, all right. Let's go to Laura. Hey, Laura, we're running out of time here. How can we help you?
Hi, Esther. Real quick, explain charitable contributions and married filing joint. We're taking the regular deduction. Do I still have to save all those receipts?
Well, it all depends. There's basically medical that exceeds 7.5% of your adjusted gross income. That's a deduction. Taxes, which are capped, which would be your state withholding and your property taxes, capped at $10,000. Your interest paid on mortgage and home equity tied to your house, and investment interest. Charitable contributions, and gambling and miscellaneous itemized deductions. If those figures added together are more than your standard deduction, then you would itemize. And so if you're somebody that's maybe a tither that might give a substantial amount to charity, 20,000, when you take your property taxes and your mortgage interest and your medical, and it exceeds your standard deduction, then that's what you would take, itemized deduction.
And don't forget, New York State has a lower standard deduction. Just because you can't itemize on the federal doesn't mean you won't itemize on New York State.
Right. So on the federal, you might do the standard deduction. On the state of New York, you can itemize.
Do you know what that figure is offhand for married?
For federal?
24.4.
And was it like 16 something for state?
The federal is 24.4.
I know, but the state.
Yeah, the state is around 16.
Okay. All right, around that amount, though.
Yeah, but now next year for 2020, even though you don't itemize, there's going to be an adjustment that you get up to $300 on the federal return if you gave to charity. So that would be over and above your standard deduction.
Oh, perfect. Because that's what I'm calling about was the charitable contributions. Like 10,000, so I didn't know with receipts if it was worth.
Right. But for a married couple, it's 24.4. If you're single, then it's half of that, 12.2.
Okay.
Okay.
But this was for married. Yes. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. What do we got a text?
We do. We have a text that says the call-in line and the text line are the same now. Yay!
Oh,
Next one, hobby versus business. I have heard that a filer must show a profit in 5 years to qualify as a business. If a depreciation makes the net profit loss for 5 years, will the business become a hobby?
Okay, it's 2 out of 5 years,
Mhm.
right? You have to have a profit. All right, so the whole thing is the burden of proof. It's 2 out of 5 years. The burden of proof is on the IRS to say you're not a business if you're operating and you haven't made a profit for the first 2 years. After that, the burden of proof shifts to you, the taxpayer, to prove that you are trying to make
That you
money.
have a profit motive.
All right, so you have to have a profit motive. Now, you can, let's say you lose money the first year, second year you got COVID, you lost money, third year you're digging yourself out. As long as you're in the event that they audit you and they say, oh, well, we think that this is a hobby, and you show them that you're making, that this is what I did. I took out this loan. I did this. I had this. This is my advertising. That I'm really trying. This is my bread and butter. Then the burden of proof shifts to you to prove that you're trying to make money.
Yeah.
But certainly,
And
I've seen businesses that have lost money for more than 2 years.
Absolutely.
But they really are trying to make money. You have to understand, from the IRS's standpoint, they think to you, why would you keep doing this if you don't have a profit motive? Because you're losing money.
I just did an audit last summer for somebody who does Medicare sales, and he had a loss for more than 3 or 4 or 5 years, and we sort of won the audit. But again, like you said, the burden of proof shifted to him, and he had to prove that he had this profit motive.
Right, and the thing is, basically they scratch their head and say, if you're losing money, why are you doing this? But obviously, and I had a horse guy one time, and he had horses, which takes longer to make money anyway. 3 years in, he was just doing really good. The barn burned down, and the mare died. The horses died. So so we ended up owing, but it wasn't easy, and we really went through a whole bunch of receipts and had to prove his motivation and how he had trainers come in. And
You want the last text?
So that's what you want.
We're out of time.
What's our last-
We are a nonprofit business and area reimbursed employer with regards to unemployment, section 2103. So do they get unemployment? I
No,
guess?
it goes on way before that. We're out of time.
All right,
So
hey, I'm Esther Villiers, the tax lady. Give us a call, 632-7886. Visit our website at egtax.com. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining our conversation. See you next week.